Making real estate fetch.
Hello and welcome to Making Real Estate Fetch. I'm your host, Grace Peacher, joined by broker of Ross Real Estate, Piedmont's favorite local real estate agency, Tyler Ross. Say hi, Tyler.
Hi, Tyler.
If you're new here, what we do on MREF is break down real estate knowledge to make it more accessible to the next generation of homeowners like myself and anyone who needs the wide world of real estate dumbed down a little bit or a lot. Today we've asked Grant to come out here and talk on our podcast. Grant, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do?
Sure. Hi. I'm a local handyman, and I do a lot of small projects and little service calls in the community to help folks. Oh yeah, there you go. To help folks solve problems as they need.
And Commonwealth Decks. Let's not
Yes.
forget to plug that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Almost officially, we're going to be working on doing a lot of deck building with Commonwealth Decks.
And
When
that's
does that
Grant and I
start?
together.
That starts. It kind of depends on the state and when they can approve our license. So,
Okay.
let's say this year.
Okay, cool. Love that.
It could be next week.
Application pending.
Yeah.
You let me know, because maybe I'll release this when that happens.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that way it could be
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
come get our deck, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
What I wanted to talk about today is investments in your backyard. So why am I putting something in my backyard that isn't even for me? Because a lot of people obviously are like building porches or decks or whatever it may be so that the market value is better for it, you know what I mean? I think it's hard for people to wrap their heads around, like, why am I putting money into something that's not even for me to enjoy? And like, what is the return typically on that? Do you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to go from there?
Yeah, I have trouble with that myself, but I think that people get a return on anything they do in their house, because I think you'd probably be better to speak towards it. It doesn't have to be something that's valuable, but if it helps sell a property faster or creates some sort of like competitiveness, whether it's between two buyers or like in the market in general, I think that could help sales, right?
I think Grant hit the nail on the head. Most of the time you're not going to get a big return on investment. You spend $25,000 on a deck doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get $25,000 back in the house or $30,000 back in the sales price. But it does make your house look that much better relative to others, which will enhance the sales price. It does give you something to use and enjoy for however long you're going to stay in the house. And time is money. So if your house is going to be listed for sale, you're more likely to sell the house faster with something like a deck or a patio than you would without it.
Mm-hmm. And I wonder if some houses that, like, let's say they have like a bunch of features that are kind of like, I don't know, in the real estate world, what they'd be called, like a niche item, like maybe there's like 4 fireplaces, and that might be really nice for a very specific person. But if you did something like a deck and a patio, it might bring in someone who isn't necessarily interested, or maybe they're disinterested in having a house with a bunch of fireplaces, but they're like, hey, this has a really nice deck and that's something we really wanted. So it might bring more people in to look at the house, despite maybe other things are not updated yet. Like maybe the kitchen isn't done yet, but it has a really cool like outdoor an outdoor area, including a deck potentially.
And to keep kind of saddling that horse, the idea of they're creating something for someone else when they're selling a house. Stonehaven in Culpeper is a great example, the new Lennar development. People go in there, put their 5, 10, 20% down, buy the house, and if they want to add a deck, they're more than likely going to have to use cash out of their pocket to do that. So in addition to their down payment, in addition to their monthly mortgage payment, they're also going to have to come up with the cold hard cash or put it on their credit card to go add a deck. If there's a deck already existing on the building, that value, that deck is included in your purchase of the house. So you don't have to come out of pocket cash. So that's one reason that somebody, when they're getting ready to sell their house, might build a deck, is so that the next person doesn't have to reach into their pocket to build it out of cash.
what is like the best return possible? Like, or maybe we should do like a typical return. Like, if you're getting someone, like, what does it cost to build a deck? Like, ballpark. 2-story house, kind of big. I don't know the real terms.
I would say average of 20,000.
Okay. What would you expect a return to be on that as an investment?
Well, it's so circumstantial. It's hard to quantify it in terms of I spent $20,000 and I got $22,000 back.
Mm-hmm.
It's more, how fast does my house sell?
Okay.
And how does my house look, and how's it perceived by people that are shopping for it?
And how you can market it.
Yeah. And a lot of people have been in houses that there'll be a big, beautiful sliding glass door off the kitchen, and then there's just a railing across the door and a 4-foot drop. So that's where a deck is supposed to go. So with there being no deck there, it looks out of place. It looks bizarre. It looks like a project that somebody's going to have to reach into their pocket and pull $20,000 or $30,000 out to complete that area. So that's a difficult question to answer dollar for dollar. But the highest return on investment when it comes to selling a house, to me, is cleaning and making it look incredibly clean. And that's things like painting, caulking, just tidying up all the loose ends. That usually something a handyman, that probably you get calls like that. Like, hey, I'm getting ready to put my house in the market, and we got to tidy up all these things.
Caulking backsplashes, because that's pretty noticeable, and it looks like you haven't taken care of it. It's like a car. If you got to sell a car, it's like, you can tell a lot by how clean a car is, But it's going back to what you just said about it's almost not really possible to quantify the return. But like I was saying, like if for instance, my house has a pretty small deck on it compared to how long my house is. My deck is, I think it's probably under 200 square feet. There's no staircase. It's just, kind of a patio door out to my deck. But if I feel like if we go to sell our house, and there's a deck that's 2 to 3 times bigger than that on there, but someone comes in and sees that there's a huge deck, but they're like, but he hasn't done the kitchen. Mm-hmm. I think that it would help sell, especially when you consider the cost of the deck versus the cost of a new kitchen. I mean, people spend $70,000 on a kitchen all the time.
Don't go there yet, because we're going to do a whole compare and contrast.
Okay.
Because Paige and I are very excited about that. But as a builder and as an agent, what would you recommend to a first-time home buyer? Because that's what we're like emphasizing a little bit on. What investment in your backyard would you emphasize? Like pool, deck, new driveway.
So as a first-time home buyer, meaning I'm a first-time home buyer, I just bought, and now I'm looking for things to do to my house.
Yeah, this is me buying my first home. What's going to get me the best bang for my buck?
When you go to sell, I think what your point was pretty spot on, because if it doesn't look good on the ad, you're not even gonna get people in the door.
Well, because some people like pools and some people hate pools. Like you were saying, like sometimes that'll keep people away from a listing. Some people it'll bring them in. So like, what's one that's like universally loved?
Yeah, well, I'm perpetually thinking about things like that because I've lived in so many houses, and being a real estate agent, you want to buy my house is for sale. Like it's always for sale all the time. Everything I own is for sale. So when I'm making those cost benefit analysis, those decisions on what to do, the first ones that come into my head are usually, how does it make the house look with respect to it being clean and organized and well kept? Like the project that's on my mind right now that I'd really like to do, I have 2. One is my driveway, because the first thing you do is pass my mailbox, pull into the driveway, and my driveway has cracks everywhere. It looks like it hasn't been replaced in 29 years since the house was built. So that would completely change the way the house looks. It doesn't really change the way it functions that much, but it would make it look really great. And then the ones after that, I'd probably lean into the things that I'm most likely to enjoy that would hold their value. really love outdoor living. Most people do, especially in nice weather. So, keeping your deck in good order or adding a deck is a great thing to do.
And on top of that, in my experience, I always think about what I can do myself. As a first time home buyer, you might not be ready to drop 20 grand on a deck. So, it doesn't take much to learn how to do landscaping the right way. And I think that can really change, it's cheaper to do that than it is to pay somebody. I can't redo my driveway.
Yeah.
Or like a fire
I don't
pit.
know.
Yeah.
A fire
do
pit,
something like that.
Yeah, there's plenty of stuff like that would really help.
In addition to that stuff, adding an aesthetic appeal, a visual appeal, you can use landscaping to hide the stuff that's ugly too.
Right.
Those ugly caps on your septic tank, and just kind of unsightly piles of stuff in your neighbor's yard.
Yeah, or just draw attention away from those things, not necessarily cover them up.
Right.
But
good landscaping is a great answer.
And depending on what kind of siding you have, it's not too challenging to paint, yourself. So, paint your shutters. You can take your shutters off and paint them.
It goes a long way.
Or just replace them. And most people can do that for pretty inexpensively, and it could really change contrast.
Facelift.
Yeah.
Painting doors.
Painting doors.
Yeah. And that's really small, really cheap items to do. It's not, I don't know if you're going to be able to look at, now my house is worth $1,000 more because I painted the door yellow.
Yeah,
I don't think it's going to do that, but you might enjoy it better. And maybe there's something too. If you have the colors that you want and it makes you feel good, it might make you more inclined to take care of your home better.
Bring that energy out.
And then hey, let's save up to have somebody come in and paint all the interior. Then it really helps, I think.
Yeah, keeps your goals at the forefront.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna do pick and tell me why. Okay, so I have 5 different options here of renovations / investments, and I want to know, just based on both of your backgrounds, what you would pick and why. First one, terra carpet versus a kitchen renovation. It's like terra carpet, new wood, looks amazing, versus kitchen renovation, and why?
You want to go first?
I have to do it quickly, huh?
No, you don't have to. It doesn't.
Let's see. Carpet. Probably terra carpet.
Okay.
Yeah. And why? I think my wife would complain about the carpet more than the kitchen.
Me too.
Yeah.
That's good motivation.
Yeah. Unless circumstantial, right? We keep saying that. Unless the kitchen's the oven doesn't work or something like that, or the countertop's cracked and.
No, this is aesthetically based.
Aesthetically, yeah. Then carpet, yeah. I think that's it's probably healthier, if you have kids. I think that's, and pets and stuff like that. I think it's healthier. If it were me doing the project, I bet you flooring would probably be a little bit more challenging for me than the whole kitchen. It would cost more to do the kitchen, but I think that the flooring is trickier. You can level cabinets and bring in a countertop sub to bring in your quartz. But I think I would choose that.
I'd say carpet also. Grant raises a good point about it just generally being healthier and cleaner. To have wood floors. An old carpet looks like garbage. Old wood floors, old wood floors can look charming. We're sitting in a building that's 100 and something years old, and these wood floors are nothing if they're not beautiful and charming. Yeah, if this was old shag or brand new, Whereas carpet, you have VOC.
I have 3 bedrooms in my house that have carpet, and my wife sees this. Cool.
I'll give you the minute marker.
Have you started that?
Yeah, the kitchen doesn't seem so bad right now.
Yeah,
get the carpet.
It's nice.
Would you put in a pool or finish a basement? Finish a basement to your liking. Maybe it's an additional guest room. Maybe it's like a game room, pool table type thing, or just
basement.
It looks good.
Basement.
Yeah, I'd pick basement also. In addition to a pool being wildly expensive, the basement is living area inside, and depending on the profile of your family, if you're a single person or have a bunch of kids, you've got that much more area to spread out.
For guests and whatever.
Yeah.
And you can market it
It's
as
more
a bigger.
practical.
We have now this
Yeah.
bedroom as well, like or whatever. I guess, yeah.
How much is pool?
I mean, you could spend as much as you want to, obviously.
Minimal.
but
I mean, you're going to spend $100,000, right?
Really?
I gotta believe you're spending minimum 60.
You
Minimum.
might spend minimum 60
You
in a
might.
basement.
Well, Paige and I tried to put
That's true.
these together as equally-ish
I
price
would say
things.
that's kind of equally, but you're not. As far as investments in your backyard goes, I don't know if the pool is the best one.
No, I
Because
would
I think a lot of people would
first.
be surprised to hear that.
Really?
Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I want a pool so
I
bad.
would love a pool too. My basement's already finished, so.
When you get
My neighbor
home,
has a pool. He hasn't invited us.
If the house that I'm renting right now had a pool, I would look past every single thing that is wrong with it. The fact that it is literally falling apart just because I'm like, well, for 6 months out of the year, I'm going to be like super happy. Same thing with a hot tub. Like,
Yeah.
love it.
Most people might not think that way though.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know. People like pools.
it's true.
Maybe not old people.
Yes, wasn't me.
Sometimes little kids.
Well, yeah, like if you
safety
have
stuff.
Yeah.
Because then you have to have. I think you have to have it gated
Mhm.
and fenced, and
Yep.
then we're talking about maintenance. I know a guy that lives in Culpeper, and he is I think he's in the process of buying his father-in-law's pool service company. They do installs too,
Oh, yeah.
and I mean he's doing service every single day.
Yeah, it's a great
Middleburg,
business.
all this stuff. So I think, hey, how much maintenance do you need to put in on your basement? Nothing.
Maybe there's
You gotta clean
rats.
And it's usable 12 months a year.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm still pro pool. Would you rather? See, I told you we were going to get here.
Yeah.
Pave your driveway versus a privacy fence.
Okay, so I assume you can see your neighbors.
I mean, sure. Well, isn't a privacy fence you can't see your neighbors? Isn't that the whole point?
I meant without the fence.
That would be
you
the
could
motive
see
to
your-
put up the fence.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, no.
Mm.
Or dogs or whatever.
Yeah.
Fenced-in yard has a lot of value. Real estate agents love to promote a fenced-in yard.
Doesn't really.
Yeah, I mean,
I would not buy a house without a fence in yard.
with respect to the value, with the respect to the value of a house, the fenced-in yard may be higher.
Mhm.
People don't mind parking on gravel. People don't mind parking on lousy asphalt.
Mhm.
But I prioritized at my house finishing my fence over re-asphalting my driveway.
Kids and stuff.
Yeah,
But if you had like all sports cars, you might feel differently. But that's like what,
yeah,
2%
it's all
of people.
circumstantial.
But I feel
yeah.
like people do care about paved driveways, and I just can't figure out why. And I don't think it's people out here either. You know.
That's it too. Yeah, I don't think people care about it as much out here.
Mhm.
Mine is paved, but it's original 20 years, and there's some cracks. It looks like it's been sealed. I'm sure it has,
Yeah.
but we don't have a fence. We also have 5 acres. So we're not going to fence that.
Right.
Yeah. So I guess
Again, circumstantial.
Yeah. But I would probably say fence. Especially most properties aren't 5 acres. So
Well, and also have kids and stuff. Like if them, I don't know. It's good to know where they're running around and all that good
Yeah.
stuff. I feel.
Mhm.
Part of the motive to re-asphalt my driveway is I want to level it so that it's more play area for the kids,
Right.
and ensure that the water goes away from my garage versus water going towards my garage and into the
Mhm.
basement. And, the subsurface stuff.
Good answers. Okay.
Cool.
I didn't want to cut anyone off. Okay. This one's fun. I know what you're thinking. They've all been so fun. Okay. So built-in speakers that like go throughout the entire house. You know what I mean?
Ooh.
Or whole house generator.
Whole house generator.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Or men.
These are just so lame.
And
Yeah.
I mean, you
Can't use the speakers if the power's on.
That's a true story. Yeah, especially in an area where you've got significant weather and power outages and circuits.
May I reword?
Please.
Sure.
Heated floors versus whole house generator.
Depends on
still
how
going
cold my
generator?
house is.
Generator.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's 10 degrees outside.
Well, how
General.
about heated floors versus the speakers?
This isn't your podcast.
Fair enough.
No, heated floors versus speakers. I'm picking speakers.
I'm still going heated floor.
Really?
Well,
Heated floors are
I live in a
lovely.
cold house.
Yeah.
My house is always cold.
Okay. Yeah, and there's a couple different. I think there's a couple different types of heated floors. I mean, you can retile your bathroom floor and put electric heat
That's
in
what-
it,
yeah.
or you can say, hey, we're building a barn dough. Let's do radiant floor heating that has essentially like a boiler hooked up to it.
Mhm.
I'm not an
Pipes
HVAC
for
guy,
hot
but
water.
yeah, that's how it heats the entire structure almost.
That's pretty cool.
That's different. Yeah. So if I were building a home, big time that, and I think you could do it geothermal, which is a new thing.
The house that I grew up in, we had like 2 rooms that had heated floors. Like, and it was only the specific stone. It was really weird.
Yeah.
And it was like something that the guy who built it did like for preference. But I was also like, how much are you walking around your house barefoot? I don't know. I don't, because I have wood floors and I don't want to step on stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's I actually.
How much you listen to music all the time?
My floor, but
That's
you
true.
can just turn it on your phone and just listen to it, and the speaker follows you everywhere.
No.
You already got it. It's
No,
like-
I do think a whole house like my
Shania Twain, 100%, all the way. You know what I mean? Over and over.
Everywhere.
Yeah. All right.
Nice.
I'll switch. No, that sounds cool.
I
Shania.
feel like a woman.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, this is your last one, so put all your energy into it. Primary bathroom, like full redo, versus a deck. Try to keep your bias out of this.
I thought it was what I would do.
You're right. Okay, go ahead. What should I do as a first-time home buyer? I guess. Yeah.
Okay. Oof, this is really a male-female thing.
You think so?
I think so. Yeah.
I get the feeling we'll land in the same place on this.
Yeah. I'd go with the deck.
If you're thinking about the return on investment,
Mhm.
I'd go with the deck. If you're thinking about your personal use, it comes down to how much you like your bathroom. I think redoing a bathroom in anticipation of making a sale can be a little presumptuous because you've just dumped a pile of money into a bathroom and you don't know if the person that's going to buy it is going to like it or not. So it could turn off as many people as it turns on. I mean, you've still got the benefit of it being super clean and super new, and that's meaningful. But at the end of the day, the safer, more neutral decision to make is to probably add a deck.
Do you not think that the same argument would be true about a deck, that you might be pouring like $20,000 into something that some people might think is an eyesore?
I think there's less flexibility in some
Less colors for sure.
If you just do a treated lumber deck or a neutral Trex decking, there's kind of only so far wrong you can go with that unless you make some really wild decisions.
And you can change decking and railing
Yeah,
after the fact.
Right.
posts
So-
stay in the same place.
Yep. All the framing as far as posts and beams will usually stay the same if you want to change, the decking or the railing. But if you have, if you do your bathroom and then sell your house or go to sell your house and you have someone who comes in and says, well, I just hate the color of the vanity. I hate the mirrors. I mean, those are 2 pretty small things that you can redo. But if they say, I hate the color of the tile floor,
Right.
I mean, you're going to do the whole bathroom.
Whatever.
That's probably.
Yeah. Whereas if someone says the deck's too big, it'd be like, okay, so
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
like, and the thing about being an eyesore, I don't know if I've ever heard that before. It just depends on how. I mean, it could be.
I've never thought that house would look better without a deck. Rip that
I don't
deck
know
off and-
anything about real estate or what
Fair
people
enough,
look
fair
for,
enough.
which is why I'm asking these questions. You know what I mean? I personally want a deck, but I also want a nice bathroom. Like, I want a separate sink from my fiance because I would. That's what I would put. I would put $5,000 into that right there. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
right.
Like
That
more than
way-
deck. I mean, yes, I love a deck, but I could put a lawn chair on the grass and have myself a good old tan either way.
Sure.
Separate sinks,
But
priceless.
if you have that, if you got that door next to your kitchen that's just got a gate in front of it, you'll be like,
What is this?
yeah.
Okay, valid. We're not going to do this last question. I'm sorry. No, we will. Okay, can you walk me through how long, if you, like, just your, again, we're talking about like your basics here. If you were to put a basic, we're going to talk about decking. Basic deck, how long is that taking me? Are there people in my house walking around? How long is that process from like start to finish? What can I expect like as someone who hires you when that'll be done? Does that make sense?
Okay, yes, it does. So have you already signed a contract and we've decided on design?
Yes.
If the answer is yes, depending on what other projects, let's just go with the time that I've got approval from the county to start building, and if I've cleared my schedule, planned accordingly with all the other jobs that I've got going on. I mean, you can get a simple deck done as long weather permitting. I mean, you could do it in less than 2 weeks.
Really?
Yeah.
You're talking digging footers,
getting
that inspected.
Getting footers inspected, and then you've got your framing, and then you've got your framing inspection, and then you put on your decking and railings, and then you have a final. A lot of you said basic, so I went with kind of what I think. But if you have some like 3 staircases, and you've got a second level to your deck or a pergola,
tie into a funky roof or something.
Yeah, if you've got bay windows that you've got to bump around for that, it could take a little longer. But I think a basic,
I thought it was much longer than that.
Yeah,
and do you guys do all of that? Like, if I say, like, I want this deck, here's a picture, here's $20,000, you're handling the inspections, you're handling those people coming and doing all that. Like, the buyer on their end is not doing any of that?
No.
Do they have to be present for it, or are we handing you over like the rights of like saying that this is okay?
Yeah, you don't need to be there. I definitely need some information from you on the permit. You've got to sign. I think you've got to sign an affidavit most of the time. You've got to provide some drawings if I can't get them from you. On the property setbacks and for zoning permits and stuff like that. But no, not really. I mean, some customers like to not be there at all. Some like to ask questions, for every step of the way, but it doesn't really matter.
I'll ask you a question. And when it comes to hiring a contractor, handyman, and deck builder, what level of involvement is beneficial from your client? Because I know there's macro managers, micromanagers, and completely hands-off.
Well, that like every answer that we've given, it depends on the project. But if you have something that's if you're asking me to come in and say, hey, can you just paint this room? Here's the color I want for the walls, and just do the ceiling white. That I don't want any involvement. Because some people like to know details that are somewhat completely. Some people like to know details that are almost irrelevant to the actual work being done, like what time you're going to be here. How many days is it going to take? Like, why aren't you here today? Some customers I need to give a little more detail on. Hey, today I'm not showing up. I'll be back on Tuesday at this time or whatever. Some people are like, here's the key, and then I never even see them. And so, as far as your question goes, which was essentially like what level of involvement I want with them, it just depends on the personality, really. If it's something that I'm not sure how the project's going to really progress and what it's going to start looking like. Because I've had customers that have just kind of unusual ideas, and they're like, I just want some creativity, and I have to bring that into the table because they're not. They just say, I saw this on Pinterest. That's common. I saw this on Pinterest, and I think it would look good here, and I might say, like, oh, well, they don't even sell that door that will, because maybe they want to put a barn door in place of a door like that. And well, a pocket door might do better, but then we have to relocate the switch on this side of the door, and then it's just like, okay, that's just not doing it at all. So I mean, it really depends on all those things.
Yeah, I know a lot of times people will actually try to do your job for you to some degree and get in the way and cause more problems than they do help. Yeah.
I haven't really had that happen. Some people hate people watching them. I don't mind it anymore because some people I realize that some people just want to know how it works.
Yeah.
And I'm like, cool, here's how drywall works.
That's how my fiance is. I always tell him that I think they're going to think that like you're hovering.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, I'm just trying to get more information.
Yeah, you can always ask, like, does this bother you? But no, do whatever you want. Okay. I might not hear you if you say something.
Exactly. Yeah.
But
you get used to it.
Yeah, I like teaching people. Some people ask me questions about stuff. I'm like, I don't know.
Just figure it out.
Yeah. Those are the more fun projects, I think.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I don't know exactly what I want. I'm like, all right,
Come together and
I find it really interesting how often really capable, experienced contractors say, "I've never done that before. I don't know how to do it." But it's almost as though your job isn't to know how to do it. Your job is to figure out how to do it.
right.
Yeah, the test for I mean, I can only speak to my license, but the test is really just to make sure you can go look up code.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so that's really what they're testing you on. They're not testing you on to see if you make sure you really understand every piece of the work you do. They're just making sure that you'll be able to look it up and make it right. I think.
That makes sense.
Would you like to plug yourself and where we can find you on social media, places like that?
That's funny. I knew that was coming because you said that at the beginning.
I'm
But
sorry.
I don't have any social media except for a Facebook for my business.
Yeah,
And,
let's do that.
I think you just have to look me up at Handyman Holmes on Facebook.
Okay.
Yeah. But I do have a website, handymanholmes.org,
Okay.
that we use, and then Commonwealth Decks
Yeah.
will be up.
Soon.
Yeah, as soon as we're
Deep
green.
pour.
Hopefully by the time that this airs, right?
Yeah, hopefully.
Do you guys have a domain and stuff for that yet or not yet?
I think it's Commonwealth Decks VA.
Okay. I'll make sure to put all of that down in the caption or whatever, but thank you for coming out and helping us and giving us some real estate advice. We're here every other Wednesday to break down real estate knowledge and make it more accessible. Do you have anything else to add before we close, Tyler?
Not now, thank you.
Okay, we're going to say bye on 3. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3.
Bye.